everyone, and welcome. Long time no see. It's been a while. Last you saw the garden, it looked a little bit like this. What a mess. I took some time off in September to kind of slow down and work on things around the house, and I kind of let the garden go to the wayside. But you can see I finally did get this nice and clean. Everything's cleaned up, and I wanted to show you how I went about planting my fall flowers, even though this isn't timely, but I wanted to get everybody up to date. The first thing I did was, of course, till out a bunch of trenches. You remember my tiller wasn't working. I was lucky to be able to find this one at a yard sale. It seems to work pretty well, even though it's like from the early 90s. It's a very old tiller, but hopefully it will hold up. I was able to dig my trenches and get those nice and deep and cleaned out. And I was able to go through with my bags of tulips. Lots of tulips this year. I think I ended up with about 5,000 tulips in general, which was a huge amount for me. Hopefully these will be really gorgeous. The deer have been getting into them this season and kind of digging them up and eating them, which I am not a happy camper about. So I think in the future I will have to figure out a way to do something about that. Lots of doubles in here and a couple kind of fringe parrot varieties, kind of fancier ones. I think the color scheme I mainly stuck to this year was various shades of pink, just because those are always my favorite, and it seems like those are always really, really popular around, Mother's Day and Easter and things like that. As you can see, I just kind of trenched these all together. Very close spacing, like egg crate or egg carton spacing is what I consider this. Since these are true bulbs, they're going to bloom no problem. Tulips don't behave as perennials where I am, so I'm treating these as annuals and the entire bulbs will be taken up. I also planted more daffodils this year. You guys know, if you've been hanging out on the channel for any length of time, that I'm absolutely obsessed with daffodils. I love how easy they are. I love that they come back on their own every single season with very little to no help from me, because let's face it, I am kind of a neglectful gardener. Again, the same process really. I just dug out a really nice trench. As you can see, as I arranged these daffodil bulbs, the spacing is a little bit larger. This is actually pretty close for daffodils. In the future, I'll probably have to dig these and separate them and divide them, but that's okay because that's what I want to do personally. If I was planting these in the home garden, I would definitely space them out a little more as well. The next thing I planted were my ranunculus corms. This year I got a lot of what I would consider fancy ranunculus, which are a little bit more expensive, like a lot of the Japanese clones and things. I hope they're going to be absolutely gorgeous. I planted them up into trays. The goal was to get them into the ground in like November, but at this time they're still in trays, just sitting out in the yard. I think as long as I get them into the ground by February, everything should be okay. They look great. They're green and lush and growing. And even though these corms were a little bit drier and crustier than I like, these all grew really well and seemed like I had a really good success with that. I didn't soak them or anything. These ranunculus corms really are a lot less fussy than a lot of people make them out to be, so don't be intimidated by them. In terms of bulbs, I also planted a very, very large group of Dutch irises. There are something like 30 different varieties of Dutch iris in this box, or something absolutely outrageous. But it was just one of those deals that I couldn't pass up. You can see the bulbs are much smaller than the tulips or the daffodils, but I packed them in very close nonetheless. These are another one that will return here. Sometimes I get some variations in colors when they return. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I've kind of questioned it before in the past and nobody really seems to have an answer. But we'll see. Hopefully we'll have a nice tour video for these. Last but not least in this video, I did want to mention that I did plant the hardy annual flowers. Hardy annual flowers are those that are able to withstand the cold temperatures, and these have done absolutely great. Obviously, they've germinated since since the point that I recorded this video. They're green, they're looking great. I've been keeping them under a frost blanket and sometimes a plastic row cover, depending on the weather. We've had really cold temperatures. The weather has been absolute garbage. I got very sick and they still survived. I completely ignored them, did not take care of them. They still survived and everything seemed to do pretty well. So fingers crossed we'll get those into the garden soon as I'm feeling a little bit better. and I'll get everything back on the track, and I'll get the channel back on track and everything like that. That's really about it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for watching. Seriously, it's been such a long time since I posted a video, and the fact that you're still here, it just really means a lot to me. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Hope you're having a really great day. You totally deserve it, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.